We are taught to hold on, to fight, to grip, to gather. But real strength often whispers from the opposite shore. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's standing in the middle of the storm without becoming the wind. Tonight we explore the quiet mastery that begins where need ends. Not to escape life, but to meet it with steady eyes and open hands. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply lets go. And in that letting go, something unshakable rises. Imagine standing at the threshold of a journey that beckons us inward, an exploration of the nuanced landscape where control and power converge. Gently, we wade through the complexities of our minds, where the allure of control often masquerades as strength. Yet like shadows that dance on the periphery, it is but a veil, a strategic cloak for fear. In surrendering this false armor, we do not descend into chaos. Rather, we rise into a serene power beyond its confines. It is here, amidst the soft folds of our consciousness, that we discover an uncharted freedom blossoming where the illusion ends. Control, with its shimmering promise of security, teases us at the edges of our awareness. A delicate mirage, beautifully deceptive, yet as fleeting as whispers on the wind. Our attempts to anchor it in external terrains, be it careers, relationships, or dreams, often precede realization. Control is an ephemeral grasp on the intangible. It is born from the desire to tame the unpredictable, to corral chaos into predictability. Yet it is here, in this embrace, that life slips away like grains of sand through clenched fingers. By releasing this grasp, a new path opens, inviting us to dance freely with life's inherent rhythms, discovering strength not in certainty, but in graceful adaptability. In the quiet chambers of our mind, control often disguises itself as operational strategy, a necessity bred from the fear of chaos lurking beyond. These strategies, more than mere plans, are tapestries woven from our heartbeat's rhythmic thrum, each thread a testament to the ego's quiet urgings to shield us from vulnerability. But are these threads spun from genuine wisdom, or merely the echoes of fear? The courage to unravel this facade marks the beginning of a liberation, allowing us to pivot towards resilience, an internal song in harmony with life's unpredictability. Within the intricate tapestry of human relationships, the illusion of control weaves its intricate dance, promising unity and understanding. It often measures protection and dominance, fostering walls instead of bridges, shadowed by the fear of unpredictability from those we cherish. Yet, as we step back, releasing our hold, relationships blossom into vibrant gardens of authenticity. Here, amidst vulnerability, genuine connection sprouts, nurtured by the sunlight of trust. To love without controlling is to grant ourselves and others the space to flourish, a revelation that true power lies not in the grip, but in the gentle embrace of open hands. Beneath the surface, control harbors a subtle toll on our emotional landscape, an invisible force that dictates what emotions are permissible. In the relentless quest for mastery over emotions, we build fortresses against the fiery flames of anger, the icy depths of fear. Yet this mastery is an illusion, for in the shadows, those emotions echo, longing for light. By stepping into the vulnerability of feeling fully, we disassemble these self-imposed walls, discovering a fluid dance of emotions that leads to liberation. Emotional intelligence burgeons here in the fertile soil of self-awareness, unfurling artfully as authenticity takes root. The ego's endless endeavor for self-validation often entices it to clutch control as a symbol of relevance, an external show of strength clouded by fear of dissolution. But as we delve deeper through the gentle process of shadow work, we begin to see through this veil, slowly untangling the web of ego-driven narratives. We unearth the authentic self that waits with patience beneath. This is not a demolition, but an integration, an invitation to a dance between the conscious and unconscious mind, creating unity where once there was division. In the vast expanses of existential inquiry, control serves as our refuge against the quiet terrors of meaninglessness. Through the musings of thinkers like Nietzsche and Frankl, we confront life's inherent chaos, its rich tapestry of unpredictability. Control does not order these threads, but cloaks the intricate dance beneath with semblances of certainty. Yet, as we peer into the abyss, we find solace not in dominion, but in embracing life's inexorable impermanence. It is in this gentle acceptance that authentic freedom flourishes, crafting meaning through conscious presence amid the cacophony of existence. Culture, with its myriad influences, has spun control as a revered ideal, equating it with achievement and authority. We are enveloped in narratives that urge the command of our domains for success. However, by questioning this cultural script, we find liberation. It allows us to redefine success, not by preordained metrics, but by personal truths. Free from these constraints, genuine fulfillment unfolds, guided by inner values that resonate deeply within. Yet, one cannot ignore the psychological toll control exacts, its cost measured in the currency of chronic anxiety and emotional fatigue, often veiled beneath the pursuit of perfection. This false veneer of safety drains our vital energies, dims the creative fires within us. Through the gentle light of mindfulness, we can loosen this grip as we cultivate a relationship with ourselves that is tender and discerning. This shift is not the departure from structure, but a reintegration that prioritizes wellness over perfection. Beyond these confines, an untouched liberation waits, the understanding that life's mysteries unfold more vividly without the grasp of control. Unrestrained by its confines, we navigate with curiosity, courage, and grace. A world unfurls, vibrant with resilience, adaptability, and wisdom. In this space, life serenades us with its myriad opportunities for growth, for love, and self-discovery. Here in the sacred dance of life, we find our place, a place of quiet power, where detachment is not a disconnection, but a deeper connection to all that life offers. In the tranquil shadows where dreams and fears entwine, attachment takes root. An illusion of connection, it whispers softly, promising comfort while clutching desperately at fleeting specters. From childhood's cradle, where we sought warmth and safety in familiar arms, this yearning for security became intertwined with our souls, evolving quietly as we grew. First, we clung to caregivers. Then, the longing shifted like leaves in the wind, from achievements to possessions and identities. Yet beneath this subtle dance, the core remains unaltered, a thirst for certainty amid life's ceaseless tides, an unyielding crutch fashioned by the ego's relentless quest for validation. These invisible chains, born not of strength but of vulnerability, bind us to stability in a world that ebbs and flows, offering an illusion of permanence that promises but rarely delivers true solace. This nuanced desperation transforms life into a delicate tightrope, walked in pursuit of identity within the contours of roles and relationships, each step beleaguered by the incessant desire for external approval, for roles as anchors in the swirling ocean of existence. These attachments, mistaken as beacons of connection, often lead us, ironically, into isolation, imprisoning the heart in a labyrinth of dependency. As we lean heavily on what we fear to lose, fulfillment eludes us. The genuine fulfillment that transcends the transient, rooted in the timeless embrace of our innermost selves. In this delicate ballet of desire, we circle ceaselessly, craving that which perpetually dances beyond our grasp, like moonlight on a rippling stream. This yearning resembles Tantalus, eternally reaching towards elusive dreams, weaving a tale of endless pursuit, void of satisfaction. Attachments morph into addictions, with achievements and relationships momentarily quenching the thirst, yet leaving an empty echo when the last gasp of satisfaction fades into the fabric of longing once more. It is a cycle, relentless and consuming, wherein material vanity and societal roles throttle the soul, promising completeness but delivering weariness, a mirage tempting us to chase shadows while ignoring the light within. Here lies the illusion, a facade of control over the unpredictable symphony of existence, gifting a deceptive sense of mastery upon life's canvas. This belief that clinging and possessing shelter us from uncertainty ultimately crafts a fragile illusion, a castle in the sand with tides approaching. Inevitably, this pursuit of control breeds anxiety, for in its shadows lurk unfulfilled expectations and resentment. Only when we accept life's innate volatility, rather than clutching to control, can we bask in resilience and the courage to navigate its unpredictable mosaic with grace. Our identity, too, is a tapestry interwoven with attachment, defined often by roles that reassure and confine simultaneously. In these roles, parent, partner, professional, we find mirrors not of our true selves, but of societal expectations. Our essence entangles within these threads, resisting change, fearing the unfamiliar terrain where authentic self-discovery might dwell. We cling to these roles as guards against transformation, fearing the fall of the known more than the potential of what might emerge. Thus, we find ourselves prisoners of comfort, cultivated in roles that promise security while stifling the soul's whisper for liberation. The energy required to uphold this image in the face of change is exhausting, turning love into obligation and dreams into drudgery. An emotional toll silently demanding fulfillment while delivering stress. In clinging, affection drains away, ambitions erode, and peace becomes elusive, a fragile candle flickering against the winds of expectation, struggling to remain alight. Yet, when the chains of attachment transform into bridges towards goals and connections that resonate with our truest selves, the soul revives, feeding off inspiration rather than expectation. What if, instead of clinging to roles prescribed by attachment, we let the narrative breathe, allow the wind of change to guide us towards a truth untouched by possession? In this gentle surrender, new pathways unfold, casting aside the fear of inadequacy, embracing instead a dance of transformation. Letting go does not mean losing oneself, but returning to a core as old as time. An essence embracing change, not bound by it, a vibrant entity ever evolving, shedding skins for truer forms. Through the art of inner alchemy, attachments alchemize, lifting us beyond dependency towards harmonious engagement with life's ebb and flow. Detachment, often misunderstood as indifference, is a state rich with presence, engaging deeply while already fulfilled within. This realization allows love to flourish free from fear, where connection does not imprison but liberates. Love and detachment intertwined create a paradox of beauty that enriches both self and relationship. True love nourishes without binding, transcending attachment by creating a haven where acceptance replaces insecurity. By letting go of the desire to possess, we allow relationships to thrive in joy and authenticity, releasing the shadows of control, infusing life with vibrant depth and meaning. Thus, freedom emerges not through severing ties, but through the conscious dance with impermanence, releasing expectations that shackle, embracing the grace found within each transient moment. As attachments recede, life's present becomes a tapestry of serene joy, rooted in now, yet free to evolve. Letting go, we step not away from life, but into its heart, where the sacred dance of existence unfolds anew, quiet and awakened. In the dim corners of consciousness, the ego stands like an actor upon the stage, draped in garments woven from years of experience and social conditioning. Its role, intricate and oft repeated, is that of the keeper of identity, the architect of this self-made edifice we show to the world. A construct both brittle and bold, it tells us who we are with the conviction of an ancient storyteller. Yet, beneath each tale of confidence and self-assurance, the ego harbors a timeless fear, a tremor of insecurity that whispers of change, decline, and ultimately dissolution. As guardians of our conscious identity, we encounter this fear amidst the shadows, where Carl Jung's wisdom illuminates paths of attachment and severance. Jung, with his profound understanding of the psyche, introduces us to the shadow, those tantalizing fragments of self the ego has tucked away, fearing the potency they might unleash. These shadow elements are not foes, but allies, if only we dare to integrate them. The ego quakes at the thought of such surrender, imagining annihilation where there is, in truth, transformation. In the light of Jung's shadow work, detachment emerges not as an end, but a beginning, a chrysalis, from which individuation, the harmonious blend of the conscious and the unconscious, can emerge. Amidst moments of identity crisis, the ego speaks loudly, clinging to familiar shores while seas of uncertainty surge. In times of loss, trauma, or existential reflection, the ego's fortress feels fragile, threatened by the changing tides. It is then that the very question of existence arises. Who am I without the markers I've cherished? Yet amidst the swirling waters of this existential tempest lies the potential for profound growth. The ego, when challenged, can be coaxed to explore its depths, to seek out desires and values whispered by the true self, those not dictated by society's constructs. But change, the eternal companion of our journeys, carries a scent of liberation. Resistance that familiar hand, The ego extends to hold back the unknown, becomes futile in the face of life's impermanence. With gentle curiosity, we are invited to explore uncharted territories, to embrace new identities and ways of being. Change, once an unyielding adversary, reveals itself as a gentle guide, encouraging growth outside the narrow confines of comfort. In the face of impermanence, the ego clutches a dream of permanence with fervor. Yet, the natural dance of life teaches us that constancy is but an illusion. Detachment from such dreams frees the soul, allowing it to savor the transient beauty of each moment. In acknowledging impermanence, we find peace not in possession, but in presence, reshaping the ego's grip from ruler to observer, embracing change and loss as integral notes in life's symphony. Empowerment arises from this release, a paradox where letting go births true autonomy. Unburdened by the chains of validation or security, we engage with life sincerely and joyously. By relinquishing control, we touch the boundless well of inner strength and creativity, moving with vulnerability as our guide. This liberation gifts us the courage to navigate life's labyrinth with curiosity and wonder, finding strength not in clinging, but in openness to the ever-shifting dance of existence. The ego often sees in duality, a narrow lens through which life is split into binaries, bounding the soul with concepts of success and failure, attachment and detachment. Yet, liberation awaits in recognizing that life is woven of countless threads. Moment by moment, we are invited to step beyond these contrasting views, to embrace a unity that dissolves conflict and fear. In this space, the self discovers its true nature, fluid, dynamic, harmonious. Mindfulness serves as our lantern, illuminating the path through the dulcet shadows of ego dissolution. It calls us to the present, where thoughts and emotions drift like clouds without binding us. Through this gentle watchfulness, the incessant narratives of the ego lose their power, inviting a deeper and more intentional communion with life. With openness and acceptance, we step through fear and change, not arm in arm with apathy, but with a sense of vibrancy and compassion for both self and others. And so, in detachment, we do not capitulate but are reborn, shedding old skins like fallen leaves carried by the wind. This rebirth does not divorce us from life, but draws us nearer its essence. With each surrender, our true selves, free from the confines of belief and role, shine forth, revealing a soul unhindered by the ego's whispers. In this sacred act of detachment, as seasons yield to one another, we find our place in the cosmos, part of its unfathomable choreography. Detachment transforms our daily lives into a spiritual odyssey, a voyage toward mastery not defined by outcomes, but the grace of the journey itself. As we weave detachment into the fabric of our existence, we cultivate inner peace and vitality, engaging with life's complexities with the heart of an explorer, open to the ever-unfolding mysteries of being. In the heart of a world entranced by motion and constant activity, there exists a form of power often overlooked, the quiet, potent force of stillness. This stillness is not an absence of movement or an apathetic retreat, but a conscious embrace of the present moment, a deliberate choice to be present and aware. It invites us to witness life's unfolding with a gentle, unwavering gaze, free from the compulsions of impulsive reactions or unnecessary interventions. Here, detachment does not signify indifference, but rather a profound engagement with the ebb and flow of existence, acknowledging the transient nature of all things. It becomes a sanctuary where external chaos fades and inner wisdom whispers its truths. Amidst the feverish rhythm of modern life, the practice of stillness becomes an act of quiet rebellion against the tyranny of urgency. As we pause, deliberate, and breathe with intention, we cultivate the capacity to respond, not react. This response shifts our interactions from mindless overdrive to a mindful engagement, where the clutter of the external world gives way to clarity. Thus, stillness transforms into a crucible, where impulses are refined and intentions tempered, revealing the quiet depths of our innate power. The essence of this practice lies in the realization that restraint and silence harbor profound wisdom, offering us the elegant strength to navigate life's complexities with grace and composure. Detachment achieved through stillness must never be mistaken for apathy. It is a tender engagement with the tapestry of thoughts and emotions, met with compassionate awareness. This presence, rooted in mindfulness, spares us from the endless cycles of emotional reactivity, guiding us instead to cultivate a resilient core of inner peace. In presence, we reclaim the sacredness of each moment, savoring the richness of the breadth and depth of experience. We craft a refuge from the chaos that surrounds us, and through this mindful engagement, gain the power to witness the world with the clarity of an unclouded spirit and an open heart. The path to true freedom is paved with the art of non-reaction. It calls for a nuanced dance of emotional intelligence, where impulsive responses are tempered by patience and understanding. By releasing the need for retaliation or defense, we redirect energy from conflict toward constructive ends, building a testament to the strength of psychological resilience. In this discipline of the mind, we observe emotions without interference, allowing them to arise and pass like clouds in a tranquil sky. As we journey from obsession to awareness, we rediscover psychological freedom. Awareness becomes the lens through which we view our internal landscape, observing the mind's chatter with gentle curiosity rather than being ensnared by its tangled narratives. It is through this shift that the mind, once turbulent, finds rest, and clarity flows like a gentle river. We train our gaze to step back, observing thoughts without becoming entangled in their imagined significance, and develop the clarity of discernment and intentionality. In the quiet embrace of discomfort, stillness invites us to transform adversity into a teacher, not an adversary. This mindful engagement fosters resilience, urging us to confront challenges with grace. Detachment in the stillness allows discomfort to emerge as an ally, encouraging us to explore the depths of being with curiosity and openness. Through this lens, discomfort ceases to be an obstacle to overcome, but rather an invitation to delve into the subtleties of our inner world. The cultivation of inner space becomes an art, a conscious practice of letting go to discover the sanctuary of stillness within. As we clear the mental clutter, we uncover the fertile ground where creativity, insight, and peace are born. This inner space is not a void, but a canvas for self-discovery in the depths of conscious being. It opens us to new possibilities, sweeping away emotional baggage and mental noise to foster clarity and insight. Presence merges with action in a graceful dance where stillness is not static, but engages dynamically with life. Actions arise from mindful awareness, and as we detach from reactivity, we respond with intention, shaping interactions into expressions of authenticity and truth. This dance reflects a profound dialogue between being and doing, moving through life's flow with discernment and finesse, anchored in the present moment's wisdom. Life's perpetual flux invites us to navigate change with grace through stillness. Here, change is not chaos, but an opportunity for adaptability and openness. As a compass, stillness guides us through shifting landscapes, balancing acceptance with the courage to explore possibilities within each transition. Detachment from the need to control outcomes opens us to the dynamic rhythm of life, where change is embraced with curiosity and spirit. And at the heart of it all lies the quiet center, the innermost sanctuary of peace and power. Returning here reconnects us with our essence, beyond noise and distraction. It is a journey of remembrance and reconnection, a celebration of inherent worth and completeness. In the simplicity and abundance of being, we release illusions and discover the truth that our essence remains unchanging amidst life's ebb and flow. This return home is a journey where we discover purpose and connection, a sacred act of living. In the quiet nook of our minds, stories spin like silken threads on a loom. These narratives, neither inherently noble nor malevolent, offer structure where chaos breathes. Personal myths emerge, echoing whispers of who we are, shadows of who we've been, and specters of who we might become. These tales, while comforting, can also harden into iron cages, limiting our view of a world broader than we perceive. We cloak ourselves in identities, wearing them proudly or reluctantly, yet forgetting that beneath these stories, we are fluid, ever-evolving beings. When we tether our essence to these narratives, they morph into masks that conform to society's expectations or our own desires. The role of the victim, the savior, the outcast, these roles script our behaviors in patterns we barely recognize. To step back from these stories is to embrace the freedom of rewriting our own mythos, guided by our true selves rather than external judgment. Detachment does not suggest apathy or erasure, but invites us to view life as a canvas, open to introspection and transformation, where the brush strokes of our experience craft our existence anew. Deep in shadowy corners, victimhood whispers tales of blame and powerlessness. Sometimes rooted in profound truths or lingering hurts, these stories can dominate, inviting us to release our agency to fate. Yet, as we acknowledge past wounds for the healing they offer, we must also recognize when this narrative blinds us to our latent agency, chaining us to prior chapters in our lives. Shifting perspective is not about denying past pain, but integrating it in a broader tapestry of resilience. The journey beyond victimhood calls us to reclaim our power, not by forgetting what shaped us, but by harnessing it as fuel for transformation. This personal evolution leads us through pathways of enormous change, nurturing a narrative of triumph over adversity. By redefining our stories, we take up pen and ink, crafting futures built on empowerment, leaving the chains of limitation broken in our wake. Success and failure, painted in stark black and white by societal mores, simplify our lives into binary fates. Conventional paths, tangled in measures of achievement and status, constrict our vision to a narrow corridor where deviation spells failure. In this mirage of endless striving, success eludes like a mirage, sapping joy and breeding frustration. Yet, To detach from such constructs is to carve anew a path where success speaks of personal fulfillment and authentic expression. Here, success dances with personal growth, a measure not of material nor accolade, but of the soul's quiet flourishing. Learning to redefine failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block weaves a narrative rich with lessons, cultivating an inner satisfaction immune to fleeting external benchmarks. In epic tales, heroes stand triumphant, their stories an intoxicating broth laced with triumph over adversity. Yet personal lives shadowed by this archetype can spiral into cycles of relentless drive, where vulnerability is sidelined. To unshackle from the hero's tale is to embrace life's varied cadence, recognizing moments of pause with the same reverence as those of conquest. By distilling power from relationships and communion rather than solitary struggle, we transform the hero's narrative, crafting shared wisdom and strength. Here lies a new story, where individual agency and collective unity are woven, drawing strength from interconnectedness over isolation. For those who find familiarity in the myth of the outcast, standing at life's edges offers clarity, the vantage point of an observer grappling with belonging or solitude. While alienation from the mainstream is raw, it births profound introspection and authenticity amid the din of conformity. Letting go of this tale of exclusion invites a path where identity embraces richness over rigidity, encouraging exploration and individuality. As we sift through solitude, we find not isolation, but a fertile ground for self-awareness, where true belonging thrives on authenticity and acceptance. Our narratives become masks, slipping between reality and mere pretense. In these layers of constructed identity, security is illusionary, leading us along paths of perceived certainty. The fear of unmasking, revealing vulnerabilities to ourselves and others, may trap us in patterns of living. To cast off these masks is to bravely venture into self-awareness. Embracing vulnerability unearths authenticity, allowing genuine expression and deeper connection. In bareness, we uncover strength in honesty and compassion, finding power in being seen as we truly are. In reclaiming agency through self-authorship, a new dawn arises, where the pen's grip is returned to our own hand. With introspection and courage, we carve out pathways that align harmoniously with the essence deep within us. Free from the confines of predetermined roles, we realign with a truth that sets our spirits free to adapt, choose, evolve, and live authentically, honoring the ever-unfolding nature of our being. Through each step, we discover an evolving identity, flexible, resilient, reverent. Here lies a journey of perpetual growth, where stories whispered by shadows transform into songs of promise and potential. Beyond narratives, beyond tales spun thick with limitations, lies a realm of the unknown to welcome in gentle embrace, a mystery eternally beckoning with open arms. In a world drenched in the pursuit of dominion, the notion of surrender might seem like the murmur of an old and forgotten tale, yet hidden within its gentle embrace lies a paradox, a revelation that surrender is not a step toward defeat, but a conscious decision to release the cloak of control. This archetype of surrender whispers that, when we let go, we allow ourselves to dance smoothly with life's unfolding story. We cease wrestling with the inevitable and instead realize that real strength emerges from acceptance, from recognizing our place as a single line in the grand poem of existence. The art of surrender allows us to see humility as a hidden strength rather than a relinquishment of self-worth. It invites us to step beyond the silhouette of our egos, acknowledging our shared fragility and the symphonic complexity of systems that cradle us in their vast embrace. This humility births clarity, grounding us enough to stand firm in our own beliefs, even as the tides of life shift landscapes we thought were fixed. Surrender quietly revitalizes the spirit, freeing it from the chains of ego-driven stories that seek only to win, to conquer, to prevail. With openness to surrender, we create a space within us where life itself can embroider its truths, untethered by our limitations and prejudices. This openness becomes an invitation to exist, not as isolated beings craving dominion, but as integral notes in a grander chorus. Through this surrender, we become vessels of presence, allowing life to happen through us, casting aside the rigid scripts we've been told to follow. This new perspective invites riches into our experiences. If life is dialogue, then meaning arises from the whispers of engagement, tales of growth, and visions of discovery that shadow our path. There is a tender strength in embracing vulnerability through surrender, in admitting what we do not know, and bravely exploring the lands of uncertainty. This vulnerability does not signal weakness. Rather, it is a testament to our courage, revealing our authenticity as we peel away societal trappings. In vulnerability, we become architects of our narratives, sculptors shaping stories that resonate with our own truth, as opposed to living a part in someone else's script. Through courage, our worth shines as an inner beacon, illuminating unseen corners and guiding us to dance amidst life's unpredictability with confidence and grace. Surrender shepherds us into the sanctuary of uncertainty. It beckons us to release our hold on absolute certainty, to embrace the unknown as a beloved ally. This journey does not dismiss our dreams or aspirations, but rather reshapes them into evolving stories, alive with a sense of wonder. By shifting our focus from rigid endpoints to the beauty of the journey, we learn to meet life's disappointments with tenderness, using them as potter's clay, molding them into new chapters rather than letting them weigh us down. Purpose emerges from these intricacies, leading us toward balanced, gentle coexistence between the dreams we chase and the peace we foster within. In the gentle art of surrender, the ego's fortress begins to fall away, alchemizing fear into liberation. The constructed self-image, with all its expectations and hardened narratives, dissolves into the greater sea of our authentic self, revealing the beginning of a new story. Through surrender, shadows in our psyche knit into constellations of unity, merging conflict into harmony and sparking the evolution of individuation, a true connection that runs deeper, reaching beyond mere words and touching the soul itself. Surrender becomes a daily ritual, an unspoken prayer, a practice of mindfulness that teaches us to release illusions and ground ourselves in the here and now. Each day becomes a canvas for acts of letting go, of expectations, of resistance, ushering in tranquility amid the storms. Over time, this ritual gentle stitches resilience into the fabric of our being, fostering a harmonious tapestry of emotional intelligence and nurturing a profound internal equilibrium. This paradigm of surrender beckons truth to the fore, urging us to stand naked, unadorned before it. As truth claims its rightful place as our guide, we shed the veils of comforting illusions, repositioning ourselves toward authenticity and growth. Our lives resonate with echoes of deeper connections and are painted with colors true to our innermost values. Through surrender, we become beacons, transforming our surroundings into a reflection of the serene bonds we've woven within. Surrender is not an act of resignation. It breathes life into connection. In learning to surrender, we discover the secret paths that knit us into the world, erasing lonely boundaries. By dissolving judgments, we embrace life's rhythm without resistance, cultivating a wellspring of empathy and compassion that we can humbly share. And in this surrendered state, the soul, once burdened by fear and control, finally breathes freely. It sheds its weighty stories and blossoms in the warm sigh of liberation. Here in the embrace of surrender, we partake not as victims, but as explorers of life's mysteries, tasting the essence of freedom and anchoring ourselves in a profound peace. Surrender, like an enduring melody, is never an end, but a continuous genesis, a gate through which the soul finds its purest voice and whispers its eternal song into the universe. In the quiet rhythm of the tides, emotions flow like oceanic waves, each cresting to a peak before gently receding into the vastness. Imagine emotions in this way, unfolding before you, inviting curiosity rather than fear. A wave might seem daunting, relentless in its power, yet it is transient, destined to pass into calm. Consider Carl Jung's insight: what we resist persists. This resistance is often born of a desire to control, to suppress, separating us from the raw authenticity of feeling. Yet, when we grant the heart permission to experience fully, emotions traverse through us, offering a profound sense of liberation and inner cleanse. Visualize yourself standing at the shore, observing these waves with quiet poise, finding that space where response reigns over reaction. Viktor Frankl speaks to this interval, a brief expanse between stimulus and response where our power to choose is cultivated. From this space, personal growth and resilience bloom, like wildflowers in a forgotten field. Emotional equanimity is not indifference. It's courage embodied, an openness to feel profoundly without being swept away. A gentle dance of permitting emotions to arise and dissolve without tethering oneself to their fleeting forms. Consider the panorama of the sky as a metaphor for our emotional landscapes, ever-changing yet ever-present. Days of sunny clarity offer joy and light, while clouded horizons bring lessons from the shade. Inner storms, with their thunder and fury, become teachers if we listen. Nietzsche whispers of the chaos needed to birth a star, hinting at the value found in embracing both inner turmoil and peace. Acceptance is our navigation, acknowledging each passing cloud and the eventual return of sunlight. Emotions, with their mysterious currents, guide us toward unexplored regions of the self, inviting new awareness and potential. In the depths of despair or peaks of joy, insights whisper to those attentive enough to listen. Observing these currents, free from entrapment, unveils beliefs and unmet needs, laying bare the fabric of our truth. Carl Rogers reminds us that self-acceptance paves the road of transformation. Our emotions, perceived as obstacles, have the potential to evolve into profound teachers, presiding over an ongoing dialogue where inner wisdom is birthed. Attachments tether us to the ephemeral nature of pleasure, anchoring us in resistance to discomfort. The true art of emotional equanimity resides in balancing these attachments with a conscious release, practicing a gentle detachment. Embrace joy without the shadow of loss. Endure pain without despair. In this dance lies liberation and peace, reminiscent of Taoist philosophy's embrace of what is. Within the crucible of emotions lies the potential for alchemy, where raw experiences transmute into higher wisdom. Here, emotions weave tales of anger, fear, and sadness, yet alchemy transforms them into compassion, courage, and deeper understanding. Viktor Frankl illustrates that suffering's end arrives with meaning, making emotions the raw material for growth and self-actualization. Mindfulness becomes the gentle thread weaving through the fabric of equanimity, allowing a calm response to life's challenges. By observing thoughts and feelings without judgment, creating space between stimulus and reaction, we cultivate resilience, not through emotion's absence, but through its full experience. This discovery grants us the choice of wise reactions, enriching our connection with others and self. Our constructed identities often reflect in our emotions, shaping perceptions of self and world. True equanimity requires disentangling emotions from identity, freeing us from limiting beliefs, inviting authentic self-discovery. This intimate exploration aligns with Carl Jung's individuation, encouraging a reunion with all aspects of the self, offering authenticity, wisdom, and clarity. Emotional equanimity deepens through compassionate witnessing, encouraging an embrace of emotions as integral to our human journey. Like the Buddhist practice of loving kindness, we learn to extend compassion inward. Barriers of the heart dissolve, fostering deeper empathy and resilience. Amidst the labyrinth of fear and longing, where shadows linger, we find insights into attachment and aversion. Emotional equanimity invites us to traverse this space with wonder, revealing desires and motives. Embracing these emotions uncovers hidden truths, guiding toward authenticity. And so, we close upon a timeless dance of letting go, releasing the grip on outcomes. An act of courage, this surrender transcends limitations, inviting the serene flow of life. Letting go does not signal resignation, but transformation, freeing us from fear's chains. From this place of trust, we grasp that true equanimity resides in surrender, living with grace and an unwavering peace, forever attuned to life's rhythms. In the ever-constant hum of modern life, where every corner of our experience is crowded with noise and ceaseless chatter, the soft whisper of silence often goes unnoticed. Yet, silence is not merely the lack of sound. It is a presence, a gentle force that envelops the soul in a tender embrace, providing a sanctuary for introspection and renewal. This sacred space, untouched by the external clamor, becomes a portal into a deeper self, an unclouded sanctuary where one's true essence can softly emerge. Choosing silence is like inviting a wise teacher to lead you through the corridors of your inner world, revealing wisdom that words cannot reach. In this serene detachment, a profound peace finds its way to us. By leaning into quietude, we resist the restless urge to react or defend, realizing within those unspoken pauses that the weight of explanations is too heavy to bear continuously. Silence, then, becomes the canvas for painting the portrait of our innermost being, a genuine reflection, unobscured by the noise of endless explanation. Here, our strength transcends verbal articulation, offering solace from the overbearing demands of modern communication. We learn that our worth, untouched by judgment or misunderstanding, shines brightly in the serene tranquility we embody. Silence transforms us in ways unseen, a delicate alchemy turning fear into courage and confusion into crystal clarity. This realm is not an empty void, but rich soil where the subconscious can plant seeds of insight, undistracted by the outside world. In this retreat, the chaotic stream of thoughts distills into coherent visions, like the ancient alchemists turning base elements into gold. Confronting our shadows within this quietness, we sit with our discomfort, seeking understanding rather than avoidance, allowing silence to gently refine our inner landscapes. Silence bridges the conscious and the subconscious mind, encouraging engagement with our emotions at their most elemental. This is a bridge built not of stone, but of hushed introspection, where we can touch the hidden edges of our psyche. As we grow attuned to silence, we embrace the subtleties often buried beneath noise, our emotional intelligence deepening, and our resilience strengthening in ways before unseen. Releasing the need to fill every moment with sound, we find profound power resting in the act of patiently listening rather than compulsively speaking. Through this, silence reveals its true gift, detachment from the endless chase for external validation. Choosing quiet is a bold declaration of self-assurance, a reminder that our value is immutable, unshaken by outside perceptions. It invites the ego to relent in its ceaseless craving for acknowledgement, steering us gently toward a fulfillment that resides within. This detachment nurtures authenticity, cultivating an inner strength that whispers, "Our self-worth belongs to us," defined by our own understanding, not by the expectations of others. Silence acts like a mirror, revealing the true reflection of our inner selves, free from the pretenses we wear in the noise of the world. In moments of quiet, we meet ourselves fully, confronting fears and desires hidden beneath layers of distraction. This reflection guides us toward a deeper self-understanding, stripping away the excess to unveil the core of our being. Silence lays bare the truths of our existence, illuminating the path to self-awareness and transformation. This quiet reflection can be unsettling, yet is vital for growth as it beckons the integration of our shadow selves into conscious awareness. Through silence, we gain insights that allow for the assimilation of all aspects of our being into a whole and unified self. It empowers us with a tool for profound change, aligning us with our authentic core. Mastering the art of welcoming silence requires intention and practice, cultivating spaces where quiet can thrive, be it through meditation, being in nature, or simply embracing stillness. This practice asks us to sit with discomfort, as silence unearths emotions long buried, teaching us to value presence over mere productivity. It becomes a reprieve from the fragmentation of modern life, supporting a mindful and meaningful way of existing. By learning to dwell in silence, we also learn to listen, not just with our ears, but with an openness of spirit that transcends words. This nurturing of silence cultivates empathy and compassion, allowing us to engage more deeply with ourselves and those around us. Embracing silence does not mean withdrawing from life, but engaging with it more intentionally, filtering the essential from the superfluous. In these interstitial places of silence, we find peace, cut free from the past's regrets and future's worries. Silence anchors us firmly to the present, encouraging a profound savoring of each moment and a trust in life's natural rhythms. Peace grows from this quiet acceptance, teaching resilience and empowering us to meet challenges with grace. Through silence, we find that presence is not about filling the void, but resting in the richness of each unfolding moment. Ultimately, silence serves as the cradle of spiritual rebirth, asking us to shed outdated narratives and identities, ushering in a renewed self aligned with our true essence. Here, the soul's whisper echoes louder, guiding us with a newfound purpose that emerges from the stillness. Silence thus becomes a ritual of sacred transformation, an ongoing cycle of becoming, an ever-unfolding journey toward spiritual illumination. In the power of saying nothing, we embrace the endless possibilities of our becoming, gently navigating the mysteries of life's wider dance with grace and quiet magnificence. In the gentle embrace of nighttime, we embark on a quiet journey into self-sovereignty, discovering that true power arises not from the shifting sands of the world outside, but rather from the stillness within. Here, we learn that genuine authority whispers not from the accolades of others, but from a heart aligned with its own truths. Like a tree deeply rooted, self-sovereignty is nurtured by internal validation, a recognition that we are whole, regardless of external chaos. As the wind of societal expectations blows, and the tides of transient desires aim to sweep us away, we find solace by turning inward. In this realm of introspection, we gently shift our gaze away from the dance of seeking control over life's unpredictable outcomes. Instead, we nurture the tender garden of our inner landscape, cultivating an awareness that anchors us amid life's constant flux. Here, situations may influence but never define us, granting us the grace to navigate both the sunny and stormy vistas with resilience and calm. As we meander further into this journey, we unravel the illusion of external dependency, a shadowy figment shaped by childhood tales that happiness resides in others' approval. These stories, etched deeply, tell us that fulfillment can only bloom from achievements or validations bestowed by others. Yet, within this woven tapestry lies a cycle, a restless pursuit where contentment is forever chase, never to be embraced in the now. With reflective introspection, we find courage to peel away these layers, unveiling the radiant truth that our worth need not hinge on others' applause. With gentle questioning, we loosen these binds, opening paths where authenticity and self-expression may freely tread. In this sacred realm of introspection, we learn the art of cultivating inner stability, a gentle craft that allows us to remain centered amid chaos. Through practices reminiscent of deep, abiding breaths and mindful presence, we plant seeds of resilience in our spirits. Such inner stability is not an escape from feeling, but an embrace, a sanctuary where emotions are held with tenderness, neither allowed to dictate nor to unravel us. Engaging regularly in the quiet dance of introspection, we uncover emotional triggers and the subtle whispers of our subconscious. By responding to life's symphony, rather than reacting. We find ourselves poised, backlit by a serene glow, an island of calm in life's torrent. In tandem, we explore the art of detachment, an unveiling and a release, not from life itself, but from clinging to specific outcomes. In this revelation, we discover that decisions and actions might be led by inner purpose rather than the cacophony of external pressure. Engaging fully with life, we relinquish the need to bind ourselves to every outcome. And in this balance, we dance gracefully with uncertainty. By focusing on intentions and efforts, trusting the current of life's river, and embracing practices of acceptance, we meet unpredictability with a heart that beats steady and true. In solitude, we discover a sanctuary, a hidden alcove where self-reflection and growth unfurl in earnest. Here, within the quiet walls, free from the clamor of outside, we reconnect with our inner voices, a reunion with our essence. Solitude, far from isolation, becomes an empowering choice, a communion where authenticity takes root and flourishes. Embraced wisely, it enriches us, offering a mosaic of self-awareness and insight, a tapestry of life woven with our own hands. Within the gentle whisper of inner dialogue, self-sovereignty can embed its roots ever deeper. By nurturing a supportive internal conversation, we cultivate resilience. We transform self-defeating stories into affirmations, carving out narratives that embolden our journey. Through reflective writings and tender self-conversation, we unearth and reshape thoughts, fostering growth in a mental landscape where compassion reigns. This harmonious dialogue becomes the bedrock of sovereign strength, guiding us with authentic clarity through the world's challenges. In the tender heart of redefining success, we beckon a fresh perspective, a compass reset towards personal truths, detached from the world's standards. Here we ponder deeply on the meaning of fulfillment, crafting a life stitched from intrinsic desires, not tethered to society's measures. By embracing this intrinsic success, joy unfurls abundantly, free from external constructs of wealth and status. In this emancipation, our journey blossoms, a path personalized, unfettered by anything other than our soul's true longings. Acceptance whispers to us as a potent healer, a gentle yet transformative guide on the journey to resilience and self-sovereignty. It wraps us in its embrace, inviting the integration of all aspects of ourselves. With its gentle touch, acceptance dissolves resistance to life's impermanence, uncovering an inner strength unfazed by adversity. In its depths, we find self-compassion, a nurturing space that enables us to greet challenges as opportunities for growth, orchestrating a life led by wisdom and inner strength. As we build boundaries, they rise as guardians, a bulwark harboring our well-being, constructed through self-reflection and aligned with personal truths. These boundaries extend an invitation to engage with the world from a place of empowerment. By honoring our own needs, our sovereignty stands fortified, woven with respect and integrity, enhancing connections that cradle growth. In the culminating embrace of non-attachment, our journey unfolds towards liberation. In its practice, we disentangle from excessive desires, discovering a peace that is both profound and innate. As we release and allow the ebb and flow of life its passage, we discover a freedom unclouded by ego-driven desires. Here, unburdened, we meet life's uncertainties with open hearts, embodying the grace that nurtures a life brimming with authenticity, present in the pure light of being itself. In the tender dance of life, there lies a paradox, a wisdom that whispers to our hearts, but often eludes our grasp. Detachment at first glance might murmur of indifference, suggesting a distance akin to cold detachment of the soul from its vibrancy. Yet, as mist gives way to dawn, we discover a subtle, profound truth. Genuine detachment is not severing ties, but liberating them. It is the art of caring deeply without the binding chains of expectation. In releasing our grip, we allow the world to breathe, inviting life to unfold with grace, beyond the constraints of our desires. In this realization, we begin to see ourselves not as the roles we inhabit nor the outcomes we pursue. We are but threads in a grand tapestry, intricately woven yet distinct in our essence. Here, we find a stillness, a sanctum of inner peace from which our actions flow from abundance, not scarcity. Freed from the weight of external achievement, we return to a state of purity and authenticity, where our intentions align with a clearer purpose. Thus, detachment is a sanctuary, a hearth where the heart finds peace, and the world meets us not as a marketplace, but as an endless opportunity for giving. As we traverse our lives, masks become our companions, identity cloaks forged by societal demands, insecurities, and imagined roles. These veils, while offering protection, can distance us from our true selves. Detachment gently calls us homeward, encouraging us to peel away these layers and embrace the essence within. It is a tender journey inward, an exploration amidst shadows, where we meet the parts of us we have long ignored. By shedding these facades, we rediscover a sanctuary within, a refuge where untapped potential and inner wisdom patiently await discovery. Imagine the homecoming of a weary traveler, resting finally in a place of serenity and security. This return necessitates bravery, as it requires facing not just our light, but our shadows as well. With each layer cast aside, we redefine our values and align with our true intentions. In detachment, we do not lose ourselves. We unfurl our own wholeness, crafted not by external milestones, but forged in the quiet revolutions of the heart. Central to this philosophy is the serenity of acceptance, a gentle yielding to the present moment in all its raw, imperfect beauty. Acceptance transcends resignation. It is a vibrant state of awareness. By acknowledging the ephemeral nature of experience, we liberate ourselves from the heavy chains of denial and resistance. Acceptance, thus, opens a door to serenity, allowing us to engage with the world from a place of peace. In this practice, we transform the challenges of life into moments of appreciation. We adapt and grow resilient, learning to dance amidst uncertainty with grace. The storms no longer disrupt our inner tranquility, much like ancient trees that stand steadfast against gales. Through acceptance, we cease yearning for what might be, finding joy instead in what simply is. Solitude, too, finds new meaning through the lens of detachment. It becomes not loneliness, but a sacred space, a still pool reflecting the depths of our being. Within these quiet moments, we reconnect with ourselves, away from the relentless demands of the world. Solitude beckons us inward, where we discover a profound sense of self-sufficiency, independent of external validation. By embracing solitude, we find freedom to love ourselves more completely, acknowledging that our perceived flaws are part of our unique essence. It becomes a transformative exploration, a dialogue between the inner self and deeper truths. Here in this sacred silence, we cultivate a trust that emboldens us to face the world with authenticity and courage. As we let go, we discover detachment is not about rigidity, but a dance of fluidity in response to life's natural rhythms. It is the art of non-attachment, recognizing impermanence as a fundamental truth of existence. With this understanding, we release our tight grip on life, allowing it to guide rather than constrain us. Our relationships deepen, and our pursuits align with our intrinsic values, fostering harmony between our inner and outer worlds. Genuine detachment blossoms into compassion, a love unshackled from ownership or control. Often, our need to hold on to others emerges from fear, believing our happiness hinges on their presence. Detachment teaches that true love is freeing, not binding, respecting autonomy and embracing connection without possessiveness. In this space, forgiveness becomes a courageous choice, a liberating release from past grievances. By forgiving, we disentangle ourselves from narratives of hurt, allowing for healing and transformation. Forgiveness, a profound act of self-compassion, frees us from the ties of blame, fostering healing and reconciliation. As we settle into this space, we immerse in the present's rich tapestry, alive with clarity and openness. We quiet the mind's analytical chatter, welcoming moments for their inherent beauty. Embracing the present, we illuminate our path with gratitude, nurturing a life of simplicity and peace. At the heart lies the cultivation of inner silence, a profound listening to the whispers of the heart. In this sacred quiet, we attune to intuition, uncovering truths hidden by doubt or fear. Here lies our compass, steering us toward choices in harmony with our deepest values. It becomes a sanctuary, a refuge where authentic living flourishes. Ultimately, detachment gifts us with the realization that we are enough. In releasing ego-driven pursuits, we uncover our natural state, beyond comparison or judgment. This journey leads us home to our inherent wholeness, a return that resonates with the fullness of our humanity and spirit. In this sacred space, letting go becomes not abandonment, but a gentle invitation to embrace our profound belonging once more. If this journey resonated with you, inviting moments of reflection, please like and subscribe for more explorations of the soul's journey.